Hello, my name is Liba, and I am from Spain. I came to New York to learn English. I was excited but also nervous. I had never been to New York before. When I arrived at the airport, I felt a mix of emotions. The city was big and noisy. I took a taxi to my new apartment. The buildings were tall, and there were many people everywhere. When I got to my apartment, I met my roommate. Her name is Anna, and she is from Brazil. Anna is also learning English. We quickly became friends. We both felt happy to have someone to talk to in our new city. The next day, I went to my language school. It was my first day of class. The school was not far from my apartment, so I walked. The streets were busy, and I saw many interesting things. There were street vendors selling food, people rushing to work, and tourists taking pictures. At the school, I met my teacher, Miss Parker. She was very nice and welcomed us warmly. There were students from different countries in my class. I met Hiroshi from Japan, Maria from Mexico, and Ahmed from Egypt. We all wanted to learn English. Miss Parker started the class by introducing herself. Then she asked each of us to introduce ourselves. When it was my turn, I felt a little shy, but I took a deep breath and said, "Hello, my name is Maria. I am from Spain. I am here to learn English." Everyone smiled, and Miss Parker said, "Welcome, Maria. We are happy to have you here." After introductions, Miss Parker talked about the course. She said we would learn English by using it every day. We would speak, listen, read, and write in English. She told us that practice is very important. "Do not worry about making mistakes," she said. "Making mistakes is part of learning." In the afternoon, we practiced speaking in pairs. I paired with Hiroshi. We talked about our countries and why we came to New York. Hiroshi told me he likes anime and wants to work in animation. I told him I like reading books and want to be a writer. It was a good conversation, even though we both made mistakes. We helped each other and learned new words. After school, Anna and I decided to explore our neighborhood. We found a small park nearby. We sat on a bench and talked about our first day. Anna said she liked the class and the teacher. I agreed. We both felt more confident about learning English. In the evening, we cooked dinner together. We made a simple pasta dish. As we cooked, we practiced English. "Pass me the salt, please," Anna said. "Here you go," I replied. We laughed and enjoyed our meal. The next day, we had a listening exercise in class. Miss Parker played a recording of a conversation between two people. We had to listen carefully and answer questions. At first, it was hard to understand everything, but Miss Parker played the recording several times. Each time, I understood a little more. After the listening exercise, we had a reading activity. Miss Parker gave us a short story to read. The story was about a girl who moves to a new city. It reminded me of my own experience. We read the story together and then discussed it. Miss Parker asked us questions about the story. This helped us understand the text better and learn new vocabulary. In the afternoon, we did a writing exercise. We had to write a short paragraph about our favorite place in our home country. I wrote about a beautiful beach near my hometown. It has golden sand and clear blue water. Writing in English was challenging, but I felt proud of my work. After school, Anna, Hiroshi, and I went to a coffee shop. We wanted to practice speaking English outside of class. We ordered our drinks in English and found a table. We talked about our day and our plans for the weekend. It was fun and helped us feel more comfortable using English in real-life situations. On Saturday, Anna and I decided to visit some famous places in New York. We took the subway to Times Square. It was amazing. The lights, the big screens, and the crowds were all so exciting. We took many pictures and even bought some souvenirs. Next, we visited Central Park. It was nice to walk in the park and see the green trees and the lake. We saw people jogging, walking their dogs, and having picnics. We found a quiet spot and sat down to rest. Anna and I talked about our families and our homes. It was a good way to practice English and get to know each other better. In the afternoon, we went to the Museum of Modern Art. The art was interesting, and we learned a lot. We tried to read the information about the paintings in English. Some words were new, but we helped each other understand. This version includes punctuation to clarify sentence structures and enhance readability. It was a great learning experience. On Sunday, I decided to do some studying. I wanted to review what I had learned in class. I read some English books and watched a movie with English subtitles. I also practiced writing by keeping a journal. I wrote about my experiences in New York so far. Writing helped me remember new words and practice sentence structure. In the evening, Anna and I cooked dinner again. This time, we made tacos. We talked about our plans for the week. Anna wanted to find a part-time job to practice her English more. I thought it was a good idea and decided to look for a job too. The next day at school, Miss Parker taught us about English grammar. We learned about verb tenses and how to use them correctly. It was a bit difficult, but Miss Parker explained everything clearly. We did some exercises to practice. I felt more confident about using different tenses in my sentences. In the afternoon, we had a speaking activity. We had to pretend we were in different situations, like at a restaurant or a store. I was paired with Maria from Mexico. We practiced ordering food in a restaurant. It was a fun activity and helped us practice real-life conversations. After school, Anna and I went to the job center. We looked at the job listings and asked the staff for advice. They were very helpful and gave us some tips on finding part-time jobs. They said that working in a cafe or a store would be a good way to practice our English. We filled out some job applications and left our contact information. I felt nervous but also excited. I hoped to find a job where I could use my English and learn more about American culture. That evening, I called my family in Spain. I told them about my experiences in New York and my new friends. They were happy to hear that I was doing well. I missed them, but I knew I was learning a lot and growing as a person. The next few days at school were busy. We had more grammar lessons, listening exercises, and speaking activities. I could feel my English improving little by little. I made sure to practice every day, even outside of class. One day, Miss Parker asked us to give short presentations about our countries. I was nervous, but I prepared well. I talked about Spain, its culture, and famous landmarks. My classmates enjoyed my presentation, and I felt proud of myself. Giving the presentation helped me practice speaking in front of a group and improved my confidence. On Friday, Anna and I got a call from a cafe we had applied to. they wanted to interview us for part-time positions. We were excited and a little nervous. We prepared by practicing common interview questions in English. We helped each other and gave tips on how to answer confidently. The next day, we went to the cafe for the interview. The manager, Lucy, was very kind. She asked us about our previous experience and why we wanted to work at the cafe. I explained that I wanted to improve my English and learn more about American culture. Anna said the same. Lucy appreciated our honesty and enthusiasm. She decided to give us a chance. She offered us a trial period to see how we would do. Anna and I were thrilled. We thanked Lucy and agreed to start the following week. That evening, we celebrated our success. We cooked a special dinner and invited Hiroshi and Maria from our class. We talked about our new jobs and our experiences in New York. It was a fun and relaxing evening. As I went to bed that night, I felt grateful for the opportunities I had. New York was a big and busy city, but it was also full of chances to learn and grow. I knew there would be challenges ahead, but I was ready to face them with a positive attitude and a smile. My journey in New York was just beginning. I was excited to see what the future held and how much more I could learn and achieve with my friends by my side and my determination to succeed. I knew I could make the most of my time in this amazing city. On Monday, Anna and I started our new jobs at the cafe. We were both excited and a bit nervous. The cafe was cozy and had a friendly atmosphere. It was located in a busy part of the city, so there were always many customers. We met Lucy, the manager. She introduced us to our new colleagues. They were all very nice and welcoming. Lucy showed us around the cafe and explained our tasks. We would take orders, make drinks, serve food, and clean tables. It sounded simple, but I knew it would be a good way to practice English. Lucy also told us that we would have a short training session to learn how to use the cash register and the coffee machines. During the training, we practiced taking orders and making drinks. At first, it was challenging to remember everything, especially the different types of coffee, but Lucy was patient and helped us whenever we made mistakes. Anna and I practiced together, and soon we felt more confident. After the training, it was time for our first real shift. I was nervous, but I took a deep breath and reminded myself to stay calm. My first customer was a friendly woman who ordered a latte and a croissant. I took her order and repeated it to make sure I got it right. She smiled and said, "Yes, that's correct." I felt relieved. As the day went on, I took more orders and became more comfortable. I made some mistakes, like forgetting to add sugar to a coffee, but the customers were understanding. I apologized and quickly fixed the mistakes. Each interaction was a chance to practice my English and learn new words. Anna and I worked well together. When one of us was busy, the other would help out. We communicated in English even when we were talking to each other. This helped us improve our language skills and become more confident. By the end of the day, we were tired but happy. We had survived our first day at the cafe. That evening, we talked about our experiences at the cafe. Anna said she enjoyed talking to the customers and learning new things. I agreed. Working at the cafe was a great way to practice English in a real-life setting. We also appreciated the support from our colleagues and Lucy. The next day, I had my English class in the morning. Miss Parker started the lesson with a vocabulary exercise. She gave us a list of new words and asked us to write sentences using them. This exercise helped me learn new words and how to use them in context. I felt that my vocabulary was improving every day. After the vocabulary exercise, we had a listening activity. Miss Parker played a recording of a conversation between two people. We had to listen carefully and answer questions about the conversation. I found it easier to understand the recording than before. My listening skills were getting better. In the afternoon, we had a group discussion. Miss Parker gave us a topic to talk about: our favorite books. This version includes punctuation to improve readability without changing the content. I talked about a book I read in Spain called La Sombra del Viento by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I explained why I liked the book and what it was about. My classmates also shared their favorite books. It was interesting to hear about different books from around the world. After class, I went to the cafe for my shift. Anna and I were getting better at our tasks. We made fewer mistakes and felt more confident. We also started to recognize regular customers. One of them was Mr. Johnson, an elderly man who came every morning for a cup of black coffee and a newspaper. He was always friendly and liked to chat with us. Talking to Mr. Johnson was a good way to practice English. One day, Mr. Johnson asked me about my home country. I told him about Spain and the beautiful places there. He listened with interest and asked many questions. I enjoyed talking to him and sharing my culture. It made me feel more connected to New York and its people. As the days went by, I noticed that my English was improving. I felt more comfortable speaking and understanding the language. I also felt more confident in my job at the cafe. Lucy praised us for our hard work and dedication. She said we were doing a great job. On the weekend, Anna and I decided to explore more of New York. We visited the Brooklyn Bridge and walked across it. The view of the city skyline was amazing. We took many pictures and enjoyed the fresh air. After the walk, we found a small cafe and had lunch. We practiced our English by ordering food and talking to the waiter. In the afternoon, we went to a bookstore. I wanted to buy an English book to improve my reading skills. I found a book called The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. The book looked interesting, and I had heard good things about it. Anna also bought a book called To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. We decided to read our books and discuss them together. On Sunday, I spent some time reading my new book. It was challenging to read in English, but I enjoyed the story. I kept a dictionary nearby to look up words I didn't know. This helped me learn new vocabulary and understand the text better. I also wrote down some new words and their meanings in a notebook. This was a good way to remember them. In the evening, Anna and I went to a park near our apartment. We took our books and found a quiet spot to read. After reading for a while, we talked about our books. Anna told me about the characters and the plot of her book. I did the same. It was a fun and relaxing way to practice English. The next week, I had an important lesson at school. Miss Parker taught us about idioms and expressions. She explained that idioms are phrases that have a different meaning from the words themselves. For example, "It's raining cats and dogs" means it's raining heavily. Learning idioms was interesting and fun. It also helped me understand more about the English language and its culture. We did some exercises to practice using idioms. Miss Parker gave us sentences with missing words, and we had to fill in the blanks with the correct idioms. This exercise helped us learn how to use idioms in context. I found it challenging, but rewarding. In the afternoon, we had a speaking activity. We had to use the idioms we learned in conversations. I paired with Ahmed from Egypt. We created a dialogue using as many idioms as we could. It was funny and a bit silly, but it helped us remember the idioms. We laughed a lot and enjoyed the activity. After school, I went to the cafe for my shift. It was a busy day, and there were many customers. I used some of the idioms I learned when talking to them. For example, when a customer asked how the weather was, I said, "It's raining cats and dogs." The customer smiled and understood what I meant. It was a good feeling to use what I had learned in a real conversation. That evening, Anna and I cooked dinner together. We made a Spanish dish called paella. It was delicious, and we enjoyed cooking and eating together. We talked about our day and shared what we had learned. Anna told me she had learned some new vocabulary and grammar rules. I told her about the idioms and how I used them at the cafe. On Friday, we had a special event at school. Miss Parker organized a cultural exchange day. Each student had to prepare a presentation about their home country. We could bring pictures, food, or anything that represented our country. Anna wanted to continue her studies in New York and find a job in marketing. I wanted to finish my language course and maybe write a book in English. We both had big dreams and were determined to achieve them. As I went to bed that night, I reflected on my journey so far. I had come to New York to learn English, and I was making good progress. I had met wonderful people, made new friends, and experienced many new things. I felt grateful for the opportunities and support I had received. I knew there would be more challenges ahead, but I was ready to face them with confidence and determination. My adventure in New York was just beginning. There was so much more to learn and discover. I was excited for the future and ready to embrace whatever came my way. With my friends by my side and my passion for learning, I knew I could achieve my goals and make my dreams come true. On Monday morning, I woke up feeling excited. Today was the day I would start my new hobby, exploring the city. I wanted to discover all the interesting places New York had to offer. After my morning class, I planned to visit a famous museum. I had heard a lot about the Metropolitan Museum of Art and couldn't wait to see it. At school, Miss Parker started the lesson with a fun activity. She asked us to share our weekend experiences. My classmates talked about the different things they did. Ahmed went to a baseball game, Hiroshi visited a botanical garden, and Elizabeth tried cooking a new recipe. When it was my turn, I told everyone about the music festival Anna and I went to in Central Park. They all listened with interest and asked questions about the festival. "How was the music?" Hiroshi asked. "It was amazing," I replied. There were so many different bands, and the atmosphere was fantastic. After sharing our experiences, Miss Parker taught us some new vocabulary related to museums and art. We learned words like exhibit, gallery, sculpture, and masterpiece. She showed us pictures of famous artworks and explained their meanings. It was fascinating to learn about art in English. Once the lesson ended, I hurried to the cafe for a quick lunch. Anna was already there working her shift. I ordered a sandwich and a cup of coffee. While I ate, I chatted with Anna about my plan to visit the museum. "That sounds amazing, Laura," Anna said with a smile. "I've heard the Metropolitan Museum of Art is incredible. Take lots of pictures and tell me all about it later." "I will, Anna, thanks," I replied. "I'm really excited to see the art and learn more about it." After finishing my lunch, I took the subway to the museum. The city was bustling with people, and I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness when I arrived at the museum. I was amazed by the size of the building. It was huge and very impressive. Inside the museum, I got a map to help me navigate through the galleries. The first exhibit I visited was the Egyptian Art Center section. There were ancient artifacts, statues, and even a mummy. I took my time reading the descriptions and learning about the history. It was fascinating to see how people lived thousands of years ago. Next, I visited the European Paintings Gallery. I saw works by famous artists like Van Gogh, Rembrandt, and Monet. The paintings were beautiful and full of detail. I stood in front of Van Gogh's Starry Night for a long time, admiring the swirling colors and patterns. It was one of my favorite paintings. As I walked through the museum, I practiced reading the descriptions in English. It was a great way to learn new words and phrases. I also listened to the audio guide, which explained the artworks in detail. It felt like a personal tour, and I learned so much. While I was looking at a sculpture, a friendly woman approached me. She was also admiring the art. We started talking, and I learned that her name was Emma. She was an art student from New York University. "Hi, I'm Emma," she said with a smile. "Isn't this sculpture amazing? It's by Auguste Rodin, one of my favorite sculptors." "Hi, Emma, I'm Laura," I replied. "Yes, it's incredible. I'm really enjoying the museum. It's my first time here." "Welcome to the Met, Laura. There's so much to see here. Have you visited the Impressionist Gallery yet?" Emma asked. "Not yet, but I'm planning to. Do you have any recommendations?" I asked. "Definitely. The Impressionist Gallery is one of the best. You should also check out the American Wing. They have some beautiful pieces there," Emma suggested. "Thanks, Emma. I'll definitely check them out. It was nice meeting you," I said. "Nice meeting you too, Laura. Enjoy your visit," Emma replied. After saying goodbye to Emma, I headed to the Impressionist Gallery. It was filled with colorful paintings that captured moments of everyday life. I saw works by Monet, Degas, and Renoir. The paintings were lively and full of light. I especially loved Monet's water lilies. The colors were so vibrant, and it felt like I was looking at a real pond. Next, I visited the American Wing. It had a mix of paintings, sculptures, and decorative arts. I saw a famous painting called Washington Crossing the Delaware. It depicted George Washington leading his troops during the American Revolutionary War. The painting was large and powerful, and I could feel the emotion and determination of the soldiers. After spending several hours at the museum, I decided to take a break. I went to the museum cafe and ordered a cup of tea and a slice of cake. While I enjoyed my snack, I reflected on everything I had seen. The museum was full of incredible art and history, and I felt grateful for the opportunity to learn and explore. When I finished my tea, I visited the gift shop. I wanted to buy a souvenir to remember my visit. I found a beautiful postcard of Van Gogh's Starry Night and a small book about the museum's highlights. I also bought a keychain with a tiny replica of the museum building. These items would remind me of my wonderful day at the Met. In the evening, I returned home and shared my experience with Anna. I showed her the pictures I took and the souvenirs I bought. She was excited and asked me many questions about the museum. "Wow, Laura, it sounds like you had an amazing day," Anna said. "I definitely want to visit the museum too. Maybe we can go together next time." "That would be great, Anna. I think you'll love it. There's so much to see and learn," I replied. The next day at school, Miss Parker asked us to write a short essay about our favorite experience in New York so far. I decided to write about my visit to the museum. I described the different galleries, the artworks I saw, and my conversation with Emma. Writing the essay helped me practice my English and organize my thoughts. After we finished writing, we shared our essays with the class. I enjoyed listening to my classmates' stories. Each person had a unique experience, and it was interesting to hear about their adventures. Ahmed talked about the baseball game, Hiroshi shared his visit to the botanical garden, and Elizabeth described her cooking experience. Miss Parker gave us feedback on our essays and helped us improve our writing. She pointed out some grammar mistakes and suggested better ways to express our ideas. I appreciated her guidance and felt that my writing was getting better. In the afternoon, we had a listening activity. Miss Parker played a recording of a radio interview with a famous artist. We had to listen carefully and answer questions about the interview. This exercise helped me improve my listening skills and learn more about art. After school, I went to the cafe for my shift. It was a busy day, but I felt more confident in my tasks. I took orders, made drinks, and talked to customers. I also practiced using the new vocabulary I had learned in class. Each day at the cafe was a chance to practice and improve my English. One of the regular customers, Mrs. Collins, came in for her usual cappuccino. She was a kind and elegant lady who always had a smile on her face. I enjoyed talking to her and learning about her life. "Hello, Laura. How are you today?" Mrs. Collins asked. "Hi, Mrs. Collins. I'm doing well, thank you." "How about you?" I replied. "I'm good, thank you." "How is your English learning going?" she asked. "It's going well. I visited the Metropolitan Museum of Art yesterday and learned a lot," I said. "That's wonderful. The Met is one of my favorite places in the city. Did you see the Impressionist gallery?" Mrs. Collins asked. "Yes, I did." "It was amazing. I loved Monet's paintings," I replied. "Monet is wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed your visit. Keep practicing your English, Laura. You're doing great," she said with a smile. "Thank you, Mrs. Collins. I will," I replied. In the evening, Anna and I decided to try cooking a new dish. We chose to make an Italian pasta recipe that Anna had found online. We went to the grocery store to buy the ingredients and then returned home to start cooking. The recipe was simple, but it was a fun and relaxing activity. We practiced our English by reading the recipe and talking about the cooking process, the recipe instructions, and talking about the steps while we cooked. We talked about our day. Anna shared her experience at the cafe, and I told her about the new vocabulary I had learned at school. We also talked about our plans for the weekend. Anna suggested visiting a flea market she had heard about, and I agreed. It sounded like a fun and interesting place to explore. "I've always wanted to visit a flea market," I said. "I've heard you can find some really unique things there." "Exactly, and it's a great way to spend the weekend," Anna replied. The pasta turned out delicious, and we enjoyed our dinner together. Afterward, we watched an English movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It was a heartwarming and adventurous film, and we both enjoyed it. Watching movies in English helped us improve our listening skills and learn new expressions. On Friday, Ms. Parker gave us a special assignment. We had to prepare a presentation about a famous person from our home country. I decided to talk about Pablo Picasso, one of the most famous Spanish artists. I spent the evening researching and preparing my presentation. I found interesting facts about his life and his contribution to art. I also selected some of his famous paintings to show to the class. As I worked on my presentation, I felt a sense of pride in my culture and heritage. It was a wonderful opportunity to share a piece of my home country with my classmates. I was excited to present and hoped that they would enjoy learning about Picasso. When I went to bed that night, I felt content and accomplished. I'd learned so much in the past few days and had many wonderful experiences. My journey in New York was full of discoveries and new challenges, but I was determined to make the most of it. I knew that with hard work and perseverance, I could achieve my goals and dreams. The next part of my adventure was waiting, and I was ready to embrace it with an open heart and a curious mind. Saturday arrived with bright sunshine, promising a beautiful day ahead. Anna and I had decided to visit the flea market she mentioned earlier. We were both excited about the potential treasures we might find and the new experiences awaiting us. At breakfast, we discussed our plan for the day. "I'm really looking forward to the flea market," Anna said as she poured herself a cup of coffee. "I heard they have everything from vintage clothes to handmade crafts." "Me too," I replied, spreading butter on my toast. "It's going to be fun exploring and maybe finding some unique items. Plus, it's a great way to practice our English." After breakfast, we got ready and headed to the subway. The flea market was located in a different part of the city that we hadn't visited before. The ride was a bit long, but we chatted about various things, making the time pass quickly. When we arrived, the market was bustling with activity. Stalls lined the streets, each one displaying a variety of goods. There were clothes, jewelry, books, antiques, and much more. The air was filled with the sound of people bargaining and the smells of different foods cooking. "Wow, this place is amazing," I said, looking around in awe. "Where should we start?" "Let's just wander around and see what catches our eye," Anna suggested. "We can split up and meet back here in an hour if you want." "Good idea," I agreed. "I'll see you in an hour." Then I began strolling through the market, stopping at different stalls to look at the items on display. At one stall, I found a beautiful necklace with a small, intricate pendant. The vendor, an elderly woman with a warm smile, noticed my interest. "Hello, dear," she said. "Isn't this necklace lovely? It's handmade, and the pendant is carved from a special kind of stone." "It's beautiful," I replied. "How much is it?" "It's $20, she said, "but for you, I'll give it for $15. "Thank you," I said, appreciating her kindness. I paid for the necklace and continued exploring the market, feeling happy with my purchase. As I walked, I came across a stall selling old books. Being an English literature student, I was instantly drawn to it. I began browsing through the collection, hoping to find something interesting. "Do you like reading?" the stall owner asked, noticing my interest. "Yes, I love reading," I replied. "I'm studying English literature." "That's wonderful," he said. "I have some classic novels here that you might enjoy. Take your time and look around." I spent a good amount of time at the bookstall, flipping through various books. I found an old edition of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, one of my favorite novels. It was a bit worn, but that only added to its charm. I decided to buy it and added it to my growing collection of English books. After an hour of exploring, I met up with Anna at our agreed spot. She had a big smile on her face and was holding a bag full of items. "Look what I found!" Anna exclaimed, showing me her purchases. She had bought a vintage dress, a pair of earrings, and a small painting. "This place is amazing! What did you get?" "I got this beautiful necklace and an old edition of Pride and Prejudice," I replied, showing her my items. "Nice! That necklace is lovely," Anna said. "And Pride and Prejudice is such a great book." We decided to take a break and get something to eat. There were many food stalls at the market offering a variety of delicious options. We chose a stall that sold empanadas and ordered a few to share. While we ate, we talked about our experience at the market. "I love places like this," Anna said. "You never know what you'll find, and it's a great way to meet new people and practice English." "Exactly," I agreed. "I've already had a few conversations with the vendors, and it feels good to use English in real-life situations." After finishing our meal, we continued exploring the market for a while longer. We took our time enjoying the atmosphere and discovering more interesting items. As the afternoon went on, we decided to head back home. On the subway ride back, we chatted about our day. "I think we should come back to this market sometime," Anna said. "There's still so much to see." "I agree," I said. "It was a lot of fun, and I feel like I've learned a lot just by talking to people and seeing all the different things here." When we got home, I took some time to read the old edition of Pride and Prejudice I had bought. It felt special to read from a book that had been around for so long. The story of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy never failed to captivate me. In the evening, we decided to watch another English movie. This time, we chose The Pursuit of Happiness. It was an inspiring film about perseverance and hope, and we both enjoyed it a lot. Watching movies in English had become one of our favorite ways to improve our language skills. Sunday was a relaxing day. I spent the morning working on my presentation about Pablo Picasso. I wanted it to be perfect, so I made sure to include all the important details about his life and work. I also practiced speaking out loud to improve my pronunciation and fluency. In the afternoon, Anna and I went for a walk in Central Park. It was a beautiful day, and the park was full of people enjoying the sunshine. We walked along the paths, talking about our goals and dreams. It felt good to share our thoughts and support each other. I really want to become fluent in English, I said. It's a big goal, but I know I can do it with hard work and practice. You will, Laura, Anna replied. You're already making great progress, and remember, I'm here to help you. Thanks, Anna. You're a great friend, I said with a smile. We found a quiet spot in the park and sat down to relax. We watched people jogging, children playing, and couples walking hand in hand. The park was alive with activity, and it was a perfect place to reflect and unwind. On Monday, it was time to present my project about Pablo Picasso. I was nervous, but also excited to share what I had learned. Ms. Parker had arranged for each student to present in front of the class, and I was determined to do my best. When it was my turn, I took a deep breath and walked to the front of the class. Hello, everyone, I began. Today, I want to tell you about Pablo Picasso, a famous Spanish artist. I talked about Picasso's early life, his artistic journey, and his most famous works. I showed pictures of his paintings and explained their significance. My classmates listened attentively, and I felt more confident as I continued. Picasso's Guernica is one of his most famous paintings, I said, showing a picture of the artwork. It depicts the horrors of war and has become a powerful symbol of peace. When I finished my presentation, Ms. Parker and my classmates clapped. Great job, Laura, Ms. Parker said. Your presentation was informative and well prepared. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you, Ms. Parker, I replied, feeling proud of my work. After all the presentations were done, Ms. Parker gave us some tips on how to improve our speaking skills. Remember to speak clearly and confidently, she said. Practice makes perfect, so keep working on your pronunciation and fluency. In the afternoon, we had a fun group activity. Ms. Parker divided us into small groups and gave each group a topic to discuss. My group had to talk about our favorite books and authors. It was a great opportunity to practice speaking and listening. I love reading books by Jane Austen, I said. Her stories are timeless, and her characters are so well written. I enjoy reading mystery novels, Hoshi said. Agatha Christie is one of my favorite authors. That's interesting, Elizabeth replied. I like reading fantasy books. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series is my favorite. Our group discussion was lively and engaging. We shared our thoughts and recommendations, and it was fun to hear about different genres and authors. These activities helped us practice English in a natural and enjoyable way. After school, I went to the cafe for my shift. As usual, it was busy, but I felt more comfortable with my tasks. I chatted with customers and practiced using the new vocabulary I had learned in class. Each day, I felt more confident in my ability to communicate in English. During a break, I talked to Anna about our future plans. I was thinking about joining a book club, I said. It would be a great way to meet new people and improve my English. That's a great idea, Laura, Anna replied. I've heard there are some good book clubs in the city. I can help you find one. Thanks, Anna. I think it would be a lot of fun, I said. The next day at school, Ms. Parker introduced a new topic: idiomatic expressions. She explained that idioms are phrases that have a different meaning from their literal words. We learned expressions like piece of cake, meaning something is easy, and break the ice, meaning to start a conversation. Idioms are commonly used in everyday English, Ms. Parker said. Learning them will help you understand native speakers better and make your conversations more natural. To practice, we played a game where we had to use idioms in sentences. It was challenging, but also very enjoyable. We laughed at some of the funny phrases and tried to remember their meanings. I'll go first, I said. I was so nervous about my presentation, but it turned out to be a piece of cake. Good one, Laura, Ms. Parker said. Who wants to go next? I'll try, Hoshi said. I was shy at first, but Anna helped me break the ice with new friends. Great job, Hiroshi, Ms. Parker said. Keep practicing, everyone. Idioms can be tricky, but they're an important part of learning English. After class, Elizabeth and I decided to go for a walk in the nearby park. It was a nice way to relax and practice speaking English. How do you feel about the idioms we learned today? I asked Elizabeth. I think they're fascinating, Elizabeth replied. They add so much color to the language. It's like learning a secret code. That's a good way to put it, I said. I'm going to try to use more idioms in my conversations. It will make speaking English more fun. As we walked, we continued talking about our classes, our interests, and our goals. It was refreshing to have someone to share these experiences with and to practice English in a friendly and supportive environment. That evening, I called my family back home to update them on my progress. It was wonderful to hear their voices and share my experiences with them. Hello, Laura. How are you? My mother asked. I'm doing great, Mom, I replied. I've been learning a lot and having some amazing experiences. That's wonderful to hear, she said. We miss you, but we're so proud of you. Thanks, Mom. I miss you all too, but I'm really enjoying my time here, I said. Keep working hard and remember that we're always here to support you, my father added. I will, Dad. Thanks for everything, I said. After our conversation, I felt even more motivated to continue my journey. My family's support meant the world to me, and I wanted to make them proud. The next day, I joined a book club that Anna had found for me. The club met once a week at a local library, and they discussed a different book each month. I was excited to meet new people who shared my love for reading. At the first meeting, I introduced myself to the group. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm an English literature student, and I love reading all kinds of books. Welcome, Laura, the group leader said. We're glad to have you with us. This month, we're reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Have you read it before? Yes, I have. It's one of my favorite books, I replied. Great. We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, she said. We spent the next hour discussing the book, its themes, and its characters. It was a lively and engaging conversation, and I enjoyed hearing different perspectives on the story. After the meeting, I felt even more inspired to continue my English learning journey. I had found a supportive community and made new friends who shared my interests. As the weeks went by, I continued to immerse myself in English. I read more books, watched more movies, and practiced speaking as much as possible. My confidence grew, and I felt more at ease with the language. One day, Ms. Parker announced that we would be having a debate in class. Each student would choose a topic and present their arguments. It was an exciting challenge, and I decided to speak about the importance of learning a second language. Learning a second language opens up so many opportunities, I said during the debate. It allows you to communicate with more people, understand different cultures, and gain new perspectives. It's a valuable skill in today's globalized world. My classmates and Ms. Parker were impressed with my arguments. "Well done, Laura," Ms. Parker said. "You presented your points clearly and confidently." "Thank you," I replied, feeling proud of my progress. In the evening, Anna and I decided to celebrate by cooking a traditional dish from our home country. We chose to make empanadas, a delicious pastry filled with meat and vegetables. It was a fun and rewarding experience, and the empanadas turned out great. "These taste just like home," Anna said, taking a bite. "We did a good job." "Yes, we did," I agreed. "It's nice to share a piece of our culture with each other." As we sat down to eat, we reflected on our journey so far. "We've come a long way since we first arrived here," I said. "Our English has improved, and we've made so many wonderful memories." "Yes, we have," Anna replied. "And there's still so much more to learn and experience. I'm excited about the future." "I am too," I said, smiling. "Let's keep working hard and enjoying every moment of this journey." With that, we raised our glasses in a toast to new experiences and lifelong learning. "Cheers," Anna replied. As the evening came to an end, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunities I had been given and the friends I had made. My journey in New York was just beginning, and I was excited to see where it would take me next.